I often think that my parents' generation had a lot of shame around sex. Sex was the sort of the obsession amongst people in terms of whether your behaviour is good or whether your behaviour is bad. I feel that my generation are shamed around food. People talk a lot these days about their diets and what's good for you and what's not good for you. But then when you come to the supermarket, you're not exactly sure what to buy. Well, a hospital in Cork has come up with the idea of holding supermarket tours. To tell us more about this, I'm joined by dietitians Karen Mackin and Billy Murphy. How's it going, guys?
Very good. How's it going?
So, first of all, just tell us very quickly exactly what is your supermarket tour?
Our tour is designed to help people interpret food labels. It's a really fun-based and interactive learning way to help people gain a better understanding about what it is they're putting in their trolley, what's good for them, what would be health protective, as in what would be promoting good health for people, and looking really at the overall balance of a supermarket trolley, what people are buying.
So, Karen, your supermarket tour, is it geared towards everybody, or are you hoping to get people who have specific dietary needs?
Both, Des. I suppose when we set it up, we have a diabetic centre here, and we also work as part of the cardiac rehab team here. So for that, I suppose we felt it would be great to be able to have an outreach, to be able to go into the community to, as I said, engage with people on an interactive basis. But then we also have a celiac clinic here, so we would have people who have food allergies, and again, to be able to work through food labelling and reading the products and seeing the availability out there with people helps people engage and learn better through actually seeing the products and getting a better understanding there and then.
Now, Billy, you're going to be actually doing the tours. Have you begun them already?
No, we haven't begun yet. Our first tour is starting on Wednesday morning, and then we've got 2 tours on Thursday as well, so looking forward to it. Now,
your first tour on Wednesday morning, is that a group or just one person?
A group session. I think we have 7 people for the session on Wednesday in SuperValue in Glanmire.
And are you going to try to be entertaining as well as informative?
I'll try my best. I'll do my best. We might get you along to do a bit of entertainment as well.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I find very entertaining is there seems to be a bit of an obsession with certain diets in society today. I feel that gluten is gluten is going through a bad period. Everyone seems to be against gluten.
Absolutely.
Billy, is it true that we should all be worrying about gluten, or is it really just people with celiac disease?
Yeah, I suppose it is a pretty controversial issue, the gluten side of things. Obviously, you've got your celiac population, and that is very prevalent in Ireland, very, very prevalent in Ireland. But we do find at times people that have, let's say, our IBS-type symptoms, they find that gluten does cause issues. But I think it is overhyped, most definitely, gluten. So I think it's just trying to dispel some myths that are out there in relation to gluten, really. So I think it can be overhyped an awful lot in relation to gluten, the area of gluten.
Now, we've had a text in here. Any ideas from my husband who has liver failure and is on a salt-free diet? That's from Anna. Any advice for her, Karen?
Karen?
Sorry. Certainly, I suppose we were looking at someone like that, we would be trying to be a little bit more specific to them rather than the general healthy eating tours. So that's certainly something that we would sit down with clients on a one-to-one basis and work through what it is they're choosing and trying to get taste in there while still trying to limit the salt to be protective of the liver.
And do you promote the sense that your choices don't have to be based on some sort of punishing diet that has no flavor? Like, are you promoting the fact that these diets can be like just as much fun to eat as stuff perhaps people were eating before?
Absolutely. I think that the key really is balance, I think, and very often people associate a diet per se with something being very regimental, and very often a diet is for a short period of time and they're really disciplined in what they're trying to do. But I think the key message that we're trying to portray really is that it doesn't really have to be a diet, it just has to be balanced and healthy eating, really, and you can get good quality taste from good healthy food as well. So that's the key message that we're trying to portray.
So basically, you're saying, you're putting it out there to anybody who wants to get involved in these supermarket tours. It doesn't just have to be specific needs. Anyone should come along, and you guys can help them get a sort of a better, more practical experience out of their shopping. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I have another question. I'm not sure who wants to take up the answer on this one, but so I am a 36-year-old middle-class man in Dublin, and a lot of my friends are obsessed with no wheat, no dairy. It seems that everybody I meet, sometimes I say to somebody I'm going to eat something, and they say, "Oh my God, you still eat wheat and dairy? What's the matter with you? What has happened? Why is there this obsession with no wheat and no dairy?"
Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of those myths that's come out there. And again, we see it from certain facilities, fertility centres, that again, they're told no wheat, no dairy. It's the same where Billy was answering the query there earlier about gluten. It's one of those overhyped, these things are all banned and we shouldn't be having them. It's unfortunate, really, because if you knock out dairy, you've knocked out our main calcium food group. Therefore, you're running into risks of osteoporosis in the future. You're knocking out wheat, you're knocking out one of the staples of an Irish diet, really. So you're looking at people who are saying, "Oh, I got that afternoon's lump, had to reach for the bar of chocolate," because they missed the wheat in there on the standard sandwich at the lunchtime. So really, if it's not being balanced in there, it can do a lot of detriment, really, to just be cutting out whole food groups.
Yeah, because I had read that the no wheat, no dairy is. I don't want to say it's a con, but I've yet to have the opportunity to put it out there with dietitians on the radio. That basically, to be honest, I was going out with somebody years ago, and they were told by a homeopath who told her that she had loads of allergies, that she needed to eat no wheat and no dairy. Is it possible that these diets are coming out of places that aren't really looking at science, but looking at other aspects of health?
I suppose when we see them, we kind of feel, it's just one of those things that's been picked on, and dairy and wheat traditionally have been picked on, but nothing really popped back in there to replace them. So it's the lack of balance in there on it. There isn't any scientific evidence behind saying, "Oh, everybody should be avoiding wheat and dairy." It is going to be more detrimental to their health to knock out, as I said, whole food groups like that.
So we've had a text in there. What's the best diet to build muscle? Somebody looking to get buff. Billy, you take that one on.
I suppose really it'd be important to kind of have a good weight training program in place initially. Obviously, protein is another buzzword that is out there, and it's been there for the last 20 years. I think the key really is to ensure that you're getting enough carbohydrate in your diet and maybe good quality protein with many of your meals. But again, I'd like to, I suppose, to stress really that very often people trying to build muscle, they can focus too much on protein and not enough on getting enough carbohydrate in the diet generally. So I think it's just getting a balance between carbohydrate and protein and having a balanced diet really when you're trying to build muscle. So
yeah, that's interesting, because I would definitely, not that I've been trying to build muscle anytime recently, but I definitely would have had that assumption in my mind that I needed to get a lot of protein. In fact, I have once or twice in my life perhaps bought an overpriced shake from some well-lit refrigerator in the gym that suggests buy this for better results, and thought, as I was drinking it, that my muscles were going to repair themselves bigger because I'd taken in this big sort of chalky protein shake.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's any gym or a lot of gyms that you go to, really, I suppose you're going to see shakes in the front in the office initially, or in the front in the admission, and promoting it and being muscle building and everything. But really, I think it's important just to kind of get the basics right initially. Maybe supplementation could be something that would be important for certain individuals, especially like your bigger athletes, your bigger rugby athletes that are training 6, 7, 8 times a week. But for your recreational individual that is training 2, 3, 4 times a week, really protein supplementation isn't necessary. Adjusting your diet accordingly really is the key.
And Karen, just a final question. On your supermarket tours, do you encounter a lot of products that sort of promise a lot in terms of their specific dietary, what they're promoting, what the product says it's doing? Do you find a lot of things make false promises?
Yeah, there's a lot of work being done by the government to try and regulate the legislation of food labelling and the I suppose what we term the functional foods, being able to put a label on saying this will lower your cholesterol, this will do this will do that. So the government is kind of moving in to regulate a lot of that, and it will improve in that those claims will be taken off most food labels, because there isn't enough evidence for them to stand over it and to make those claims. So certainly that is something we always encounter when we're doing the cardioprotective groups, when we're working with people, we're talking through food labels, we're talking through it on a one-to-one. But to be able to go around the supermarket, things will jump out and remind people a lot more. What about that product and what about that? so it certainly will be a good forum to be able to answer people's queries there and then, and to explain through, what is the scientific evidence behind things.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Karen and Billy. It's been great chatting to you. An issue I'm very interested in. And here's the latest single from the Frankenwalders, "Loneliness and Sweet Romance."